So I tend to really like to work with tofu puffs a lot, just because, tofu, it's a really nice source of plant-based protein, and the puffs they're really absorbent and they're crunchy at the same time. So I think it adds a lot to the dish. But, and I've said this before, if you've ever worked with it before, tofu puffs are super, super oily because it is deep fried in oil. And even when I tend to boil them a couple of times before I put them in recipes, even then it's super, super greasy. Oil, not that good for you. And so I'm always trying to find or figure out ways of how to mimic that spongy texture and then also have it be crunchy at the same time. So today we're actually going to be making an air fry version where I'm going to combine the methods of freezing the tofu and then squeezing it out, and that's how you're going to get that spongy texture that you'd normally get from frying. And then I will be finishing that off in the air fryer so that you get it nice and crunchy without that oil. And luckily the company Calm Do was able to send us one of their air fryers to test out this recipe today. And I had actually wanted one of these larger type air fryers for a while, these multi-rack ones, just because I wanted to be doing multiple things at the same time, being somebody that cooks a lot. I will be putting their link down below, but if any of you are interested after seeing the video, Calm Do has kindly given you all, I guess, 30% off if you wish to purchase it. So I will put all of that down below, and yeah, let's start the recipe. So for those of you that did not watch our previous video, I essentially showed everyone how to freeze tofu and then get it to kind of that spongy texture that we want in this recipe here. Essentially what I did was you need a soft to medium soft type of tofu. There needs to be a fair bit of water content in it in order for this recipe to work. So don't really work with the firm tofu, okay? And then afterwards we froze it and we thawed it, and you can actually see the difference between a fresh piece of tofu and then a thawed one, because it starts getting these little air pockets in it, and you can squeeze out whatever water was actually within the tofu before. And then it starts getting this spongy, drier texture, very much like when you deep fry tofu. So this is, kind of a way to hack the system without having to use oil and without having it get too greasy. So I ended up cutting my pieces of tofu into small blocks, but if you really like that very spongy, very soft texture, you might want to leave your tofu in bigger chunks. And once you put it into the air fryer, the steam and all of the water content from within will slowly escape out so that you have these air pockets, and then the outside's going to be crispy as well. So I tested out two different kinds of temperatures in terms of how to get the outside to be super crunchy while having the inside still be nice and spongy. And so the first way that I did it was I did a high temperature at 200 Celsius for a short amount of time, for 15 minutes. And I actually felt that was not really enough. I think that the outside was crispy, but it got way too crispy, and the inside was still wetter than I would like. So what I opted to do was have it be at a longer time period, around 30 minutes, and then having it at a lower temperature of 150 degrees Celsius, and that seemed to do the trick. these came out so well, so I hope you all enjoyed the recipe. And again, I'll put that link to the air fryer down below. And yeah, I'm just gonna end with showing you some of the recipes that I've made with it. But you can throw it in soups, you can throw it in things with sauces, you know, stir fries, sautés. It's a really useful recipe because like oil is super bad for you. So having this option, I love it. And what I end up doing is I put the finished pieces of tofu puffs back into the freezer so that I can pretty much use it anytime I want.